Hello, my friends, and welcome to another week of Mental Health Storytime brought to you by the Children's Book Bank. My name is Nina, and my pronouns are she and her. For this week's storytime, we are going to be reading and talking about how to communicate better about mental health. So, in our previous videos for this month, we had Lori talk and read about neurodiversity. And then the video before that, we had myself, Nina, again reading and talking about the two difficult emotions that we sometimes feel every now and then, which is depression and anxiety. So for this week's story time, we are going to be talking about how can we communicate effectively to others about what it is that we're feeling. How can we sit with those emotions and sort of reach out for help when we need it? How can we get support whenever we feel this heavy emotions on us? And that's what the story time is all about. So we have two books that we're going to be reading today. One of them is called Danny and the Blue Cloud. This one is written by James M. Foley and illustrated by Shirley Nang Benitez. My apologies if I have said those names incorrectly. And the other book that we are going to be reading about is called I'm Sad, and this one is written by Michael Ian Black and illustrated by Debbie Ridpath. Alright, so we have two amazing books that will hopefully kind of tell us how can we talk and express about our mental health, about what we feel, and how can we share those with the people around us and to those who care about us and those who we care about. So my friends, I think we're gonna start with Danny and the Blue Cloud, Coping with Childhood Depression, and again written by James M. Foley and illustrated by Shirley Nang Benitez. Let's see what this one is about. Danny was born under a blue cloud. Danny doesn't look too happy. Wonder why. He didn't know why, but sometimes the cloud made him cry. Some days the cloud seemed as big as the whole sky. On those days, Danny didn't want to get out of bed and moved as slowly as the turtles. Some days, Danny was one big growl. The other animals came to Danny's house to ask him to come out and play, but Danny's cloud felt heavy and dark. Danny looks very sad, doesn't he? After a while, Danny didn't even go to the door when his friends came. He stayed in his room. Danny thought, I never run and climb and play. I must be the worst runner, climber, and player in the forest. When the grand forest parade happened, he didn't go outside to watch. His mother said, That's all right, Danny. It's okay to stay inside. One day, Danny was sitting in his room. Wham! Bam! Beep up! Wham! Bam! Beep up! He opened the window just as Barnaby, the rabbit, landed on two huge feet. My Uncle Wally's whiskers, what are you doing inside on a nice day like today? Barnaby said, This is hopping, climbing, and playing weather. I have never played in the forest. Besides, I am the worst runner, climber, and player in the forest, Danny said. If you have never climbed or played in the forest, how do you know that you are the worst climber and player in the forest? Come on outside, we need to talk. Danny boy, you need to be defunkified. Barnaby, what does defunkified mean? You need to feel better. Did you know that if you change the way you think, you can change the way you feel? It sounds like you are thinking about all of the bad things and not the good things that are possible. Let's make a list of all the things that you can do. Okay, Danny boy, number 1. Danny mumbled to himself and hopped once on one paw and then once on the other. I can, Danny hopped twice on one paw and then twice on the other. Danny hopped 3 times on one paw and then 3 times on the other. Stop, said Barnaby. While you were trying to think, you were doing some first-class hopping. As a rabbit, I'm an expert judge of hopping. And if you can hop, then you can dance. Let me see you hop again. Barnaby started to whistle a happy tune and clap along. All of a sudden, Danny felt his body start to move to the music. His arms and legs seemed to move all by themselves. Danny could hear the music in his head and felt like he was floating across the forest floor. Why shut my mouth and call me a carrot, Danny? You are not just a dancer, you are a boogie machine. Danny smiled. Danny, did you notice how you didn't feel like dancing until you started dancing? Remember that tune. Hear the tune in your head and start dancing even if you don't feel like it. Think, I am a great dancer and I feel better whenever I move my body. Thinking good thoughts about yourself is another trick to feel better. Good thoughts make good feelings. Danny, remember these feel-good rules. And here is Barnaby's feel-good rules. Number 1, think about good things instead of focusing on just the bad things. Number 2, think about what you can do and not about what you can't do. Number 3, dance even when you don't want to dance. Moving makes you feel better. And number 4, think good things about yourself, even if it feels easier to think the bad things. Danny danced and danced. He danced even when his cloud felt heavy. The more he danced, the better he felt. Soon, the animals noticed Danny dancing and wanted to learn. Danny taught Barnaby's bunny buddies to dance. He taught the raccoons, the weasels, and even the turtles. How fun! When Danny's blue cloud started to feel heavy and dark, he practiced Barnaby's feel-good rules. He thought about good things instead of focusing on just the bad things. He thought about what he can do and not what he can't do. He danced even when he didn't feel like it. He thought good things about himself. The blue cloud was beginning to change color. It became lighter and brighter. The more Danny danced and taught the other animals to dance, the brighter his cloud became. The Grand Forest Parade and celebration would soon be happening. One day, the wise owl and leader of the forest called all the animals together. Come here, come here. The owl said,
This year's Grand Forest Parade will be the biggest and best ever. It will be the most joyful because we will all dance. For all his hard work, I am naming Danny the Bear as the official forest dance instructor and Grand Marshal of the Forest Parade.
All the animals cheered and raised Danny up on their shoulders. Just then Barnaby shouted, "Danny, look up over your head." Danny looked up and smiled. His cloud was shining with all the colors of the rainbow. Danny smiled because he had learned Barnaby's feel-good rules. He knew that he had the power to change the biggest, bluest cloud into a beautiful rainbow. And the end. At the end of the book, there are some notes to parents and caregivers, and it talks about how this book can help, about cognitive behavior therapy, and how to support your child. So, that, my friends, is the end of Danny and the Blue Cloud, written by James M. Foley and illustrated by Shirley Nang Benitez. Alright, that had such a nice ending. Am I right? I like the ending for that. Next, we are going to be reading our other book, and it's called I'm Sad. Again, written by Michael Ian Black and illustrated by Debbie Ridpath. Oh, I'm sad. I'm sad. Will I always feel like this? I don't think so. I was sad once. I didn't know potatoes could be sad. Everybody feels sad sometimes, says the potato. Even astronauts?
Even astronauts.
If I was an astronaut, I would never be sad. But why do sad things happen? Asked Flamingo.
That's just the way it is.
But why is that just the way it is?
Because if it were any other way, then that would be the way it is. And it's not that way. It's this way.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Sigh.
Flamingo, I think you need some good old-fashioned cheering up.
Yeah, I know what cheers me up when I'm feeling sad. What? Says Flamingo.
What? Says the potato.
Ice cream. But flamingos don't eat ice cream.
And potatoes don't eat ice cream. I know what cheers me up when I'm feeling sad.
What? What?
Dirt.
Hockey.
Dirt. Jungle adventures. Dirt. Spice stuff. Soil.
Hey, dirt and soil are the same thing, potato.
Thought maybe I fool you.
But the flamingo is still sad. Maybe it's okay just to be sad. Why would that be okay? Sometimes when I'm sad, it feels kind of good to let myself be sad.
That's weird.
Will you still like me if I'm sad again tomorrow? I don't like you just when you're happy. I like you all the time. When you're sad, or angry, or bored, or anything else. What about you, Potato? Will you still like me if I'm sad again tomorrow?
I don't even like you now.
Seems like they're all having a good laugh. That was really funny. Do you still feel sad? I still feel a little bit sad, but I also feel a little bit better. And I think I'm okay with that. The end. Oops. That's the story about I'm Sad by Michael Ian Black, illustrated by Debbie Ridpath Ohi. Alright, my friends, we have read 2 amazing titles that talks about sadness and a big blue cloud hovering over our head that just kind of makes us cry sometimes. And if there's something that I have taken out from reading these 2 books, is that it's okay to be sad. And it's okay to not understand why we're sad. Sometimes it just happens because it is what it is. And when we do feel sad and we don't understand why we're sad, sometimes just sitting with that sadness is okay too. Don't push those feelings aside, especially the sadness, the anxiety, depression, because it gets buried underneath all the other emotions that we're feeling. And if we feel sad and we push it aside and we don't sit with it and we're just trying to, no, I don't want to feel sad, I want to be happy, then we become sad again. And then we become sad, until we have these layers of sadness inside of us and it gets overwhelming. So sometimes sitting with the sadness and just trying to understand that you're feeling sad and giving yourself a break is totally fine. And finding things that you enjoy when you're sad is also a good sort of way to deal with that sadness. So I just wonder, my question to you, my friends, is what is it that you do when you're feeling sad? For me, when I'm feeling sad, I like to play some music. I like to play my ukulele. So, I hope that you enjoyed this story time, and I hope to see all of you soon, virtually. Alright, bye for now.